understand the charts and the concepts, but the account size does not reflect that. It's not because you're dumb, not because you need a new strategy. It's because risk management just hasn't been mastered yet. If you want to skip the guesswork and follow a system that actually works, here is the next step. Click the link in my description to join the free webinar. I'll show you how to stop losing trades, protect your account, and stop blowing your account. Don't wait. Every single trade you risk without a plan is another chance to blow your account. Most people think trading is about being right, and it's not. It's about surviving long enough for being right to matter. I don't teach hype, and I definitely do not teach prediction, but I do teach how to control your loss before you ever think about profit. Because once risk is mastered, everything else starts working. On this channel, everything runs through one lens: risk management. Your entries, your exits, your psychology, even when you don't trade. If you learn to manage risk, the market stops feeling emotional. It's natural emotional regulation. Decisions get quieter, trading gets way simpler. In my channel, you will see my playlists. You can explore my Watch and Learn playlist, where I break down charting and platform execution basics through risk. You can watch my Reality Checks playlist, where we talk psychology, discipline, and the habit that quietly destroys your accounts. And I have live market sessions where we plan without forcing and review without emotion. This is built to make you consistent, and consistency is what keeps you in the game long enough for trading to change your life and graduate from the game just like I have. Master risk and everything else will follow. Engineering your wins in trading. My last video about red flags that quietly destroy your trading account. This video is the other half of that conversation, because it's one thing to see a problem and it's a totally different thing to actually install a solution to that problem. And most traders hear the word neutral and they think it's a personality trait, and it's just not. Like, you really think I'm just not emotional, I'm naturally calm, I'm wired for this, I'm made different, I'm built different. And that is literally not how it works. Neutrality is how your system is built. And if your system is built incorrectly, there's no amount of discipline. Hear this, there's no amount of discipline or mindset talk that will save you. In my last video, I talked about red flags like emotional wins, brushing off your losses, trading to feel something, urgency after drawdown. That's all I'm gonna say here. You need to watch that video in detail. Again, it is linked here, up in the corner. Now, those things are not character flaws. They are signals that your structure is missing. In this video, I'm going to talk exactly what that actually means and show you how neutral traders actually build neutrality as a skill, and it's not something that you have to force. It just becomes the default. It becomes who you are, right? So the first step is neutrality is created by math first, not mindset. Math over mindset. And this is where people get this so backwards, because they think they can think their way to being calm. A lot of traders tell themselves, I'm not going to revenge trade. I'm going to stay disciplined. I'm going to stick to a plan. But if your sizing is wrong, if you're leveraging too much money, if you think that having margin or having access to margin or leverage automatically makes you think that you'll be able to handle it, you're wrong. Because your nervous system is going to override that mindset every single time. It doesn't matter what you're thinking in your head. Your nervous system is going to overshadow that. So if one loss feels really heavy, if one red shifts your entire mindset, if one bad trade makes you feel really bad, that is not emotional weakness. There's no way to discipline yourself through that. It's just that your risk is too big for your nervous system. And neutral traders don't feel calm because we're special. We feel calm because one trade cannot hurt us emotionally or structurally. So the first way that neutrality is built is so simple. Your sizing of your trades so small that urgency cannot exist. So if urgency is possible, neutrality is impossible. That is what I want you to remember with step one. Now, step two, You want to design your account so nothing needs to be fixed. This ties directly to the red flags video that you can watch here. One of the biggest problems I talked about in that video is the need to bounce back. The feeling of, I need to get this money back. I need to fix what I just did. And neutral traders, we just don't feel that feeling. It's not because we don't care about money. I personally care about my P&L a lot, my monthly P&L specifically, but it's because our structure never actually creates a hole in our trading. So we don't allow one trade to put us behind or damage our confidence or trigger urgency or change our behavior. We just design our system so that losses are already absorbed emotionally. And that is not discipline. It is architecture. It's literally engineering your wins in trading. So if your account design requires emotional strength to survive, it's not designed for consistency because you're a human. I hope that didn't go over your head. If your account design requires you to be emotionally strong to survive, it's not designed for consistency. So here's step 3. You treat your internal state like your edge. This is honestly where advanced traders are separated, because in being a neutral trader, you don't just check the charts. We check ourselves. We know that if I'm tired, I'm not neutral. If I'm rushing, I'm not neutral. If I'm stressed, I'm not neutral. We understand there can't be overlapping or incoherent things. We understand that if I'm emotionally charged, I'm not neutral. And so we just don't trade. It's not a punishment. It's not, you don't deserve to trade. It's literally protection of our account, because we respect neutrality way more than an opportunity. And this is the part I want to say, because I get comments on my page. There's this feeling of needing to make money or go in to make a trade. It's because you actually respect opportunities more than you respect your actual neutral behavior. So what we understand is that missing a trade is cheaper than trading misaligned, period. And this directly is going to solve multiple red flags from that first video. I recommend you go watch it. And you're no longer brushing off your internal state. At that point, you're building the internal state into your rules. They're baked in, so you never have to worry about it. Step number 4 to becoming a neutral trader is removing emotional spikes on green days. This is so big because us neutral traders do not celebrate wins emotionally. It's not because we're boring people. I might be boring, who knows? But y'all aren't boring. It's because we're trading emotional consistency. I'm not going to let a green day become an emotional event, period. Why? Because whatever you emotionally reinforce, your nervous system is going to want that again. So when you train excitement around the outcome of winning, now you're always chasing the next win. And subconsciously, you chase that feeling over and over and over. And guess what that leads to? Sometimes it leads to green, but 99% of the time it leads to overtrading, oversizing, forcing your setups. Neutral trader, let the wins be data, not dopamine. My green days are simply green days in my trading log, in my trading data. They don't really matter to me. I care about realizing those funds to my bank account. Step number 5 is normalizing losses instead of personalizing them. This is the secondary to what we just talked about. So in the red flags video, I talk about how some people blame the market or they dismiss losses casually, but neutral traders, we do neither of the two. We study without emotional charge, and we ask questions. We study our trades. We study our previous action, our previous positions, right? And we say, was it the market or was it me? And we adjust based on structure, not on identity. So what this means is, what I'll do is I'll pull up my monthly P&L. I will go through all of my trades and I'll look at my data sheets and I'll look at all of my data and I will say, were these wins because I was actually trading who I was supposed to be? Were these losses because I wasn't who I was supposed to be? Or was it just a bad win? And that's how I go through my data. I don't say I'm bad, I suck, all these red days are bad. I say my process needs refinement. That keeps the ego out of it. The ego is gone. and that keeps neutrality intact. So step number 6 to becoming a neutral trader is build routines that protect your nervous system, because neutrality is fragile if it's not protected. Neutral traders, we have very boring habits. Consistent routines, consistent gym routines, consistent sleep, consistent breaks, limited screen time, clear trading rules. And it's not because I'm so strict with myself, it's because I understand that my nervous system is my execution engine. So if I burn out, then my strategy doesn't matter. You can have a 600% gain sitting as an opportunity and you completely miss it because of this. There's no way to out trade that. Your nervous system is your execution engine. You do not want to burn it out, because it doesn't matter what you do, your strategy won't matter. This is exactly what most people miss after watching the red flags video. They see the behavior, but they don't change the structure. You went through the 10 red flags and you saw yourself in 3 or 4 of them, but you don't change the structure. So in my free private training, I walk you through how to build this, actually understanding the design behind your rules and how to create a system that makes all this automatic. It's the first thing in the description box. If you want to go deeper and watch that whenever you're ready, you can grab a coffee and watch it. It's about 15 minutes with actionable tools you can actually walk away with and use starting on your next trading day. So step number 7 is you stop needing to feel like a trader. This one is so subtle, but some people trade to feel like they're in the game, like that you are this thing that's called a trader. And neutral traders don't need to feel like traders. We don't need action. We don't need validation. We don't need to trade because we want to. We only trade when the conditions are right. That's it. When identity is not attached. Because when identity is not attached, your neutrality becomes easy. So the real thing I want you to take from this video, if you haven't taken notes already, I recommend taking notes at this part. Neutrality is not emotional suppression. It is emotional irrelevance. Your emotions do not run the process because the process was built to not require them. So they're literally irrelevant. That's why neutral traders look really calm. It's not because we're calm people. Maybe I am. But there's nothing in my trading system that threatens me enough to go into an emotional swing anymore. And this is what I didn't have before. So I want you to take this because it took me months to figure this stuff out. So if you watched the red flags video and you thought, I see myself in about 3 or 4 of those, that's definitely me. I want you to think that that's a good thing. It's an opportunity to fix it. And this video was the opportunity. This video is how you fix it. So go back and watch this video 2 or 3 times and don't try harder. Just build a smarter system using what I literally gave you in this video for structure, because structure is going to beat willpower every single time. And if you want the full framework for building neutrality as a skill, not as a personality trait, I walk through it step by step in that private training. It is free. It's really short. It's like 15 minutes. You can watch it tomorrow while you're eating breakfast, and it's very practical. So the link for it is the first thing in the description box. Most traders end every single trade the same way. You check your P&L, you check if it's green or red, you check if it was a win or loss, and then you move on with your day. And that's the problem, because money tells you nothing. It does not tell you anything. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why your P&L and money at the end of the day does not tell you anything. It tells you nothing about who is actually in control. And there's one actionable thing you can do to change this right now. So after every trade, ask yourself, did I trade as the version of myself that I respect, or did I trade as the version of myself that wanted relief? So I'm going to explain what relief means, but this question makes you very uncomfortable, or it should make you uncomfortable, because it removes the hiding places. A win does not protect you in your trading. Relief trading is when you take a loss and you think you're going into the next trade or the next trading day calm and controlled and professional, you know what you're doing, but really you're just trying to find relief because underneath it's driven by urgency. You need to feel okay again. You need to prove to yourself that that loss wasn't part of your identity, and that you need to prove yourself that you know how to trade. You need to prove yourself that you can escape a certain discomfort that you may have had from taking a previous loss. But I'm here to tell you the most dangerous trades are relief trades that win, Because if you win that trade where you're trying to get money back, it reinforces behavior that eventually destroys your consistency. Identity aligned trades often feel very boring because they do not give you any dopamine. They don't validate your ego. They don't make you feel heroic. Oh, I broke through. I know how to trade. None of that is there. There's no arrogance that comes from it. They just compound, and money is the reward. Honestly, when you're a trader, money should be your reward. But it's more about something deeper, because most traders evaluate their performance based on the outcome. Did I win or did I lose? But those who are consistent long term evaluate based on behavior. Who was I trading as? That's literally the question. Who was in charge here? Was it my logic or was it my emotion? Was it structure or was it impulse? And you have to ask yourself these deeper questions because the answer can really lie very deep. But most traders avoid this because it's honest without a reward. There is no dopamine. There is no external validation. There is no feeling like you're the best trader on earth. There's none of that. It's just about the truth. But identity drives behavior. And until your identity is addressed, strategy is not going to change anything. And if you do change your strategy, it's not going to last. The practice and the backtesting and the journaling is not going to fix your trading. It doesn't fix your trading. It aligns behavior with who you say you want to be as a trader. And that alignment is what creates the consistency. So if you've noticed that you're a trader who already knows how to trade, yet you still keep blowing accounts, I want to invite you into watching the private training in the description. It is the first link in the description because this is not a flaw. This happens to almost every trader and is a part of your journey that I don't hear talked about a lot, and I invite you to watch that training. I want you to comment down below, have you ever avoided asking yourself this question? You may have thought about it, but you have avoided wanting to answer this question because you thought ending the day green or ending the week green or ending the month green meant more than your behavior. I definitely want to hear that. I'll be down there in the comments reading your stories, but also responding, so I'll see you there. I'm going to say something so simple, but if you actually want to survive long enough to make money in options trading, in futures trading, in whatever market you trade, you have to learn how to end on a good note. Not a high note, not when you start to feel invincible